Hello, friends, and let's have a look and see what is the energy of today. What do we need to know? What do we need to be aware of? What are you navigating and what are you focusing on, or where should you be focusing on this particular day? So, on the table here in front of me, I have two amazing decks. I have the Enchanted Map Oracle and I have the Spacious Tarot. So, we're going to start with the Oracle to set the intention, to sort of lay the foundation for this particular reading, to give us an idea on the theme that is taking place around us today. So whenever it is that you find this video, whether it is on the day that I release it, whether it is 2 months later, this is the energy that you are navigating on this particular day. So Enchanted Map Oracle, let's get a card and see what is the theme of this day today. Right. This is the modern version, the newer version of the Enchanted Map. I do have both copies because I love this deck so much. And we have card number 20, which is flying. And here we have this horse. And obviously this is the horse that reminds you of the fairground, the playground, you know, the little, I can't think of what it's called now. But then notice how it is flying, jumping over this maze. And this maze represents life. I mean, this is what we're going through at the moment. You know, every time you sort of think you've got a handle on things, you think you know where you're going, you hit to T junction and you have to turn left or right, but you can't see the out, you can't see the exit, you can't see the way forward. So it becomes very complicated and it becomes very, very confusing. And sometimes we can get ourselves completely and utterly lost in the maze of life. And, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting lost in that maze of life. I don't think there's anything to beat yourself up over getting lost in that maze of life, because we're all lost in that maze of life. We're all doing our damnedest. We're all trying so hard. We're all doing everything we possibly can to navigate the maze. But as I say, just as you think you're getting a handle on things, just when you think things are okay, suddenly you hit a T junction and it's like, okay, now I don't know where to go. Do I go left? Do I go right? What do I do? And it becomes all very, very confusing. So sometimes, sometimes, if you are a magical pony, if you are a magical pony, sometimes it's an idea to actually just bypass the chaos, bypass the uncertainty, bypass all the drama, and just fly. Just fly from A to B, from left to right, to the beginning to the end. I do want to add in though, flying is great, okay? If you have the ability to fly, only if you have the ability to fly. Please do not try jumping off anything if you actually cannot fly. So sometimes I will add though that the journey of the maze is where the truth lies. The journey of the maze is where the nuggets of life lie. The journey of the maze of making wrong turns, of getting frustrated and getting angry, getting lost, finding yourself, finding the exit. There is just something so beautifully magical about that. But if you've done the maze 12 times and you've mastered the maze and you've figured it out and you know exactly, go straight, three lefts, two rights, and you're there. If you know the route perfectly, then it's okay to take a shortcut. Then it's okay to fly through, to fly over, okay? But it's to understand that sometimes in life it's okay to take the shortcut. Sometimes in life it's okay to give yourself a break. If I put the card here, we're going to have terrible glare. So I'm going to actually swap these around and I'm going to stick it over there while I shuffle the tarot. So Spacious Tarot. Spacious Tarot has beautiful artwork, but it doesn't have people. It's almost like the images are taken from your eyes, okay? So it's like looking out of your own eyes. So that's why you don't see people in the artwork. So let's ask from the Spacious Tarot, now that we know what our theme of the day is, let's ask the Spacious Tarot, where can we take shortcuts? Where in life is it okay for us to take shortcuts right now? What can we avoid? What maze have we experienced over and over and over again? And we're now at that point where it's okay to take a shortcut, to fly over, to fly above and beyond, to overcome, or not to overcome, to just bypass, to just bypass all the drama and the chaos and the uncertainty and the fears and all the rest of it, right? So Spacious Tarot, help us out. The first card I have is the Elder of Pentacles, all right? So look at our little bear. Okay, I mustn't call him a little bear because, again, from perspective, he's a giant, right? This is a daddy bear. This is a big guy. And he's standing up on his hind legs. Now, we don't have bears in South Africa, so I'm not speaking from experience. I have never had this experience of facing a bear. But when a bear stands up like that, when a bear stands up on his hind legs, what he's doing is he's making himself bigger. He's making himself look more ferocious. He's making himself look more aggressive because he's standing his ground and he's ready to defend. But he's also getting a higher vantage point, much like our horse over here, getting a higher vantage point. So the Elder of Pentacles, he's basically saying, you know what, I know what I am. I know what I have achieved. I know what I have accomplished. Much like our horse, we've been through the maze a few times over. Okay, let's bring them closer. We've been through the maze a few times over. I know what I've achieved. I know what I've accomplished. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. Our bear doesn't need to prove himself to anybody. So he's not going to jump into fight mode, attack mode, unless he absolutely has to, unless he's really and truly provoked. Just like our horse, you know, he could take the easy road. He knows the route. He knows to go, you know, forward for a bit and 3 lefts and 12 rights or whatever the case is. He knows the routine, but he's actually choosing to take the easier route, to take the lesser route because he can, because it is just easier for him. So I have the urge. I have the urge, okay? So our Elder of Pentacles is saying, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. Know who you are. Know what you have achieved in the past. Know what you have accomplished. Know what you absolutely are capable of. Know your limitations as well. And don't feel like you have to do more than. And I have the urge to take another card. So I just took straight off the top. And there we have the Nine of Swords. So now suddenly our big, ferocious, capable, strong bear becomes this tiny, tiny, tiny little mouse that is petrified and afraid. And we have all of these swords that look like they're coming down to attack him. So he's absolutely petrified. And I don't know about you, but if I was that little mouse, I'd be absolutely petrified as well. So this is the card of nightmares. This is the card of fears and anxieties. This is the card of stress, worry, concern, etc. Now, my take on this, okay, is that if you know who you are, if you know what you're capable of, if you know where you can take shortcuts and where you can't take shortcuts, and if you don't constantly try and break the rules, you have no need to be fearful. You have no need to be worried, no need to be anxious. This anxiety comes in when you're taking shortcuts without going through the motions of the lessons, the experiences, etc. So be capable, be confident, be courageous, be brave. Understand yourself first and foremost. If you have walked the maze 12 times and you know the route and you know that you cannot learn anything more from it, that there's nothing more for you to experience within that maze, by all means take the shortcuts. By all means fly on over. But if you are flying over without having been through the maze at least a few times, then you're going to find yourself living with stress and anxiety. And nobody needs to be living that way. We should all be living this way. We should all have confidence. We should all be comfortable enough with who we are and what we've achieved in life. And none of us should ever feel nervous. None of us should ever feel anxious about life and about what we're doing and about how we're doing it. So if you're finding yourself living with a lot of anxiety in your life at the moment, if you're finding yourself panicking and stressed and anxious all the time, it's because you're taking too many shortcuts. You're avoiding things that you should not be avoiding. You're trying to speed up the process that shouldn't be sped up. So stop, go back to the beginning, walk through the maze. Go through the motions, do the things that need to be done, but do it with confidence, knowing that you can do this, knowing that you can find your way out, and knowing that you're going to be okay. But it's when you take shortcuts, when you bypass the important things, that's when the anxiety comes in. That's when this fear and panic and anxiety steps in. So if you want to avoid this, if you want less of this in your life, if you want to have less stress and less anxiety and less fear and less panic, do the maze, do the work, do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to grow. If you don't do the work, you're not going to become a better version of yourself. So do the work that is necessary. And honestly and truly, you're going to be okay. You will be, I'm pointing to it, but you can't see, you will be the strong, capable, confident bear who's able to defend himself and his family, who knows his worth, knows his capabilities, and isn't afraid to use them where necessary. So friends, I am sending you much love and many blessings. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the videos on a daily basis. Sending you much love and many blessings. Take care.